Hello dear students, welcome to the lecture series of Object-Oriented Programming. In this lecture, we are going to see in detail single inheritance with an example. At the end of this lecture, you will be able to use single inheritance. As you know that when derived class is inheriting the properties from a single base class, only one base class, it is referred as a single inheritance. Let us consider two classes as class B and class D. B is referred as a base class and D is referred as a derived class here. Let us consider class B contain one private data member as integer A. It contains one public data member as integer B and three public member functions as setAB, getA and showA. Now, let us consider class D, which has its own private data member as integer C and two public member functions as void mul and void display. Now, class D is inheriting the properties from class B with public derivation. And so, all the members which are public in class B will be accessible to class D. That means all the members under public section of class B will be accessible by the object of class D. Okay, so class D will have the members as integer B, void set AB, integer get A, void show A, which are inherited from class B, and its own members like integer C as private member, void mul and void display as the public member. Now what about that integer A? As integer A is the private data member of class B, it will not be accessible to class D. Okay. Now let us see how those member functions which are belongs to class B are defined. Now here we have the first member function as setAB. It belongs to class B. It B followed by a scope resolution operator indicates that set AB belongs to class B. Now, this set AB function is assigning the values 5 and 10 to A and B respectively. What get A is doing? Get A belongs to class B and it is returning the value of A. Show A is displaying the value of A on the screen which is belongs to class B. Now, let us see how mul and display are defined. Now, mul is the member function of class D and display is also a member function, public member function of class D. Now, multiplication is going to be happen over here. Multiplication of A and B and it will be stored in a variable C. Now, variable C is the private data member of class D, but it is accessible to class D as it is its own member. B is publicly available and D is deriving class B publicly by public derivation and hence B will also be accessible to class D. But what about A? A as A is a private data member of class B. It will not be accessible to class D, which is derived class of class B. So to access that, uh, to access the value of A, we need to access means that D need to access the public member function. Okay, and so through that public member function, D can access the value of A. So we have a public member function over here, that is get A member function, which belongs to class B and which is inherited by class D. Okay, and as it is publicly derived, that object of class D can access that member function get A. So what that get A is doing? Get A is returning the value of A. So through that get A, the value of A can be accessed and it is available for class D. Okay. Now the value of B is already available. Through get A, we will get the value of A and after multiplication, the result will be stored in C. In the display function which belongs to class D, which is its own member, In that member, the value of A will be displayed, B will be displayed, and C will be displayed. B and C value will be displayed directly, as both the members can be directly accessible to class D, as B is publicly derived from class B and C is its own member, and as A is a private member of class B. So through that get A function, which is a public member function of class B, which is derived by class D by the public derivation, through that the value of A can be got. Okay, now let us observe the main function. Here we are creating the object of class D as a D. Okay, now through that object D, we can access the member function of class B, that is set AB. Now it is public derivation, so all the members which are publicly available under public section of class B will be inherited by the derived class as the public members only. Okay, so through that, through the object of class D, which is derived class, those public members will be accessible. Okay, so through that set AB, the value the value 5 and 10 will be assigned to A and B respectively. Okay, through that mul function, which is the member function of derived class D, multiplication will happen. I have already explained how multiplication will be performed, how we will get the value from A, and how we will get the value of B. Okay, and through that show function, the value of A will be displayed. Okay, which is also accessible to the object of derived class. D is then display is its own member, so that can be directly accessible. Now as B is publicly derived, okay, the value of B can be changed by the object of derived class D. Okay, so we can change the, we can set the value of B here 20. Okay, after that multiplication can be performed, and again we can display the result. Now let us see how can be the output, what should be the output. So here through set AB, the value of A and B will be set. Through mul, the value of uh, multiplication of A with B will happen, and the result will be stored in C. And through show function, the value of A will be displayed. Okay, and through that display function, the value of A, B, and C will be displayed. Okay, and again the value of B will be set as a 20, and again multiplication will happen, and again we will get the final result. Now let us see the output. Now please observe here, A is equal to 5. From where we are getting this A is equal to 5? From the base class we are getting that A is equal to 5. Okay, like show underscore A. Okay, now if you observe show underscore A, now what that show underscore A is doing, show underscore A is displaying the value of A. Okay, and as it is publicly available, through that through the object of derived class D, that show underscore A member portion can be accessed, and it will display the value of A. Okay, and after that through that display function, the value we will get as a the value of A we will get through that get A function, and the value is again 5. B will be displayed as a 10, and C after the calculation we will get as a 50. Okay, and when second time the value will be displayed, the value of A will be 5 as it is. Okay, and after that the value of B will be set as a 20, so we'll get the value of B as a 20, and after that we will call the multiplication function. So through that multiplication, now here B is equal to 20 and A is equal to 5, so 20 multiplied by 5 we will get the result as a 100. So when we call at the end the display function, we will get the value of A as a 5, B as a 20, as we have set the value of B as a 20. Okay, and after the multiplication we will get the value as a 100, which will be stored in variable C. Okay, so likewise we can inherit the properties from base class B. Okay, and who is inheriting the properties? Derived class D is inheriting the properties of class B by public derivation. Okay, and how to inherit the properties through private derivation we will see in the next lecture. Now please remember here that data member A, which is private, can be inherited through the member function of B only. Okay, as you can observe here, we are taking the value of A, we are accessing the value of A through the member function of B only. Okay, we cannot access that value of A directly, as that data member A is private to base class B. Okay, so I hope you have understood how the values can be accessed, how the properties can be inherited by public derivation. Okay, in the next lecture we will see how the properties can be inherited by the private derivation. Okay, so thank you, happy learning.